Okay, last question from Jonathan Miller.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, at the risk of being shot down, the numbers of people who have been killed on the streets of the Philippines since you came to power 6 weeks ago have risen to around 1,000. Now, I know you have been contemptuous of your critics, but they are accusing you of unleashing a national death squad. Where is this going to end? Because some are saying that the social fabric of the Philippines is at risk here.
Good. That's a very good question. Because at the other past, in the distant past, no police was ever willing to really work and risk his life. You know, it was a practice before. That's why I said I take full responsibility. You know why? Because they are now encouraged and even brave enough to have a shootout. The standard practice in this system of government is that when you accuse him, they would always file a counter-charge and say that there's due process or that they were unarmed and anything, any answer that could give a leverage. And ordinarily, and you can check this out, in the courts, they have to use that leverage against the poor policeman. Now, remember in this country, no lawyer is provided for the policemen and the other men and the security officers when they get into trouble with the law. They are left at the mercy on their own. That was the policy before, and in the previous ones, they are left behind. So when I was mayor, I told them, go ahead, do your duty. But if you feel that you're in carrying out your duty, you will get killed. My God, shoot him first. And they were protected here, and there were cases filed, and I provided the lawyer. And for the time that they are suspended, that is why they are afraid. They face charges in court, then at the same time, when they are accused, they lose the job because they are suspended. And for the time that they are suspended, and the hearing of cases can take you to eternity, as low as it can ever be, the family is not without food.
With respect, sir, you as a lawyer know
Yes.
better than any of us how important this principle of innocent until proved
Well,
guilty is.
Look, Padilla said 2 years ago, there are 3 million addicts in this country. That was the last figure. Nobody cared to find out. Now it's my time. So, 2 years ago, between 2 years ago and now, how many do you think were hooked into drugs? Let us give it incremental increase of about, just be liberal about 700,000. So 3,700,000. And the confirmed 600,000 now was surrendered and took the test for drug addiction. How do you call it? Just a problem? Is just a police problem? Or is it really a crisis for this country? It's not even epidemic, my friend. It is pandemic. So what am I supposed to do as a president? Empower the military and the police, for after all, they are there to protect the integrity and preserve the people of the Philippines.
At the risk of gun law, sir.
It can happen. It happens in America. They're shooting the blacks there. It shows on TV. It shows on TV. What's the difference between America and the Philippines? Nothing. So what is surprising here is surprising to us. We say policemen, they're shooting a black guy there. How many times had it happened in the past? That's why you have the violent demonstration. So, would it surprise you and me? Almost the same. 1 case only, 3 cases here. So what? It involves the same principle. Say, for every 1 black there dead, you have about 5 here. And so, does it make this world more livable because there is less killing? When you shoot a black there dead, what is that? Is that not appalling? when you bomb Syria and Iraq, and you kill communities, and you kill children and old people and hospital, what is it? And why is it that United States is not doing anything? I do not read anybody in that stupid body complaining about the stench there of that. Look at the iconic boy that was taken out from the rubble. And he was made to sit in the ambulance, and we saw it. So what's the difference? Life of a criminal, or maybe he was really rubbed out. We cannot discount it. But what do you think what the Americans did to the black people there? Is that not rubbing out also? I say, well, it was just one community there, one state of America. Well, but you have there about 10. So what's the difference? Are we here for the counting or the basic principles of human rights? Almost the same.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, last question from Doris daw.
Sir, yung balik tayo kay De Lima, yung sa sinabi niya, meron na po ba kayong mga nakalinya o meron na kayong kinakausap na mga to strengthen your case against her, na mga preso o warden who would testify against De Lima? And are you or are your agencies making efforts to track down the driver and to get him as a witness?
No, I will not do that. She knows where her lover is, so leave her at that. What we have is the intercept, but the intercepts cannot be used in evidence. That's illegal. Meaning to say, you can do the intercept, but it cannot be allowed in evidence in court. But in this, the recto law here says that you cannot even try it. But that was the time when we were using landlines. It's now free. It's a free enterprise now with the advent of digital age. You can siphon any of the conversation. China is doing it. America is doing it. Great Britain is doing it. Everybody is doing it with the power to listen. They have the machines. There's a law. You cannot prevent them. But then, you cannot use it in court because it would not be acceptable. So if I just listen and say to you, and say I cannot reveal it, you must remember that I signed an executive order without waiting for Congress, the right to information. And in that executive order, I allowed everybody to even to look at the diapers in Malacanang. You have now the access to all documents you need to know if there is corruption or not. And that is my desire to do away with corruption. Now, can I now go to court and file a case? No. That is not my job. My job is in the higher, the President shall do everything in his power to protect public interest. As President, I got this information being a privilege as a President, but I am not required to prove it in court. That is somebody else's business. Okay? So, that's one. The second is, I have every right now to tell you, because you were the one, the media, bugging me several times. We met in Cotabato, everywhere you were. Who is the next mayor, senator that you will reveal connected with drugs? I said, there is one. And I told you, wait, because I have to do something about this. First of all, you have to ask the permission from the country who provided it to just mention it without naming. But that country is really also mad at De Lima because she's involved in drugs. Every country is mad. Even China, they even execute people. Indonesia, Malaysia, they hang them. Philippines have been asking for the restoration of the death penalty. So, if I were a soldier, I'll give you a classic case. I am a soldier. I'm assigned Hulo, Basilan, fighting the Abu Sayyaf. I work very hard for this country. Then my salary is given to my wife. She sets up the house, send the school children. While I am fighting to preserve democracy in this country, he knows now, suddenly, that his daughter got raped. That his daughter got killed because of the Duterte. Tell me now, because this is really what happened. If I were the lawyer, if I were the soldier, if I go back to see the child raped, my daughter raped, dead, stiff, dead, inside the coffin, and they said that he was raped by those. What do you think I will do? I will ask the president permission. Mr. President, I have to kill these people. So why is it widespread? You know, when generals are involved already, when everybody, almost all of the policemen in Region 4, there are 400 all in all, 100 in the same town. 600, 100 only in one town. How do you cope up? Policemen into drugs. And so that is why you see many policemen are also killed in police operations. Because he does not surround himself unless he's a drug lord. So, policemen are there. The Middle East guys, 3 million of our fellow human beings, they're Filipinos. One father is working in Qatar, the other is working in Saudi Arabia. They work their ass to death to send money, only to discover during one of the rare visits that they are allowed to realize that the son is already hooked in Shabu and is longer places. Does the lives of 10 criminals really matter to me? If I am the one facing the grief, would 100 lives of this idiot would mean anything to me? I was a prosecutor once, but if somebody raped my daughter because he was hooked into drugs and killed my daughter, my God, I will kill you. Let it be known to everybody.
Sir.
You despoil the body of my child, then you expect me just to kill 3 because there are 100. Okay, I'll just kill 3 because that would be a fair exchange of lives here. Can you measure an anger? If I were a policeman, you killed my son. If I were a soldier, you killed my wife and family, you'd wipe them out. Could I measure that anger by just about maybe 200 lives? Even the Americans thought us it's good. Charles Bronson, he was it Death Wish? Or what was the movie about? He was a cop, he was a vigilante, just like Clint Eastwood. They reflect, actually, they are the mirrors of life. They mirror the lives of everybody. Do what? No, in the sense that I do not believe the crusading justice there. It's far different. He has his own duty as oath to protect. Mine is a larger. I have to protect a country. He simply is appalled, and he has pity to the fellow Americans who die needlessly in the hands. They are law-abiding citizens. They do not carry arms because they obey them. And yet they are waylaid, they are killed for nothing. They are being, there's a stick up, and you see. There's a camera there. There's a lady going out of the apartment, and she ends up dead. So, on the average, that policeman has that paradigm of what's happening to this fucking thing. Then the serial rapists are sent to jail. After 2 years, they are allowed to go out. Then they go out. They look for houses with open windows. Nobody's there except the daughters or the children. He goes into the room, carries the child, brings her to the nearby woods, and what is true there is true here. The mirror of life is portrayed before us. That's what I'm saying. If it's my character, no, it is not an original trait. I have my faith to follow. I've been telling everybody, you cannot build a nation over the bones of your citizens. But with the crisis of 3 million plus the 500 that are now addicted, what kind of mirror do you want to portray your anguish and anger? Let us be clear on that. But you might think, so what are you? My friend, I am a human being. I know how to get angry. I should know how I would get soft. I know how to pity. And I know how to have the rage in me. How do I react? Well, it all depends. If it's my daughter, I'll kill you.